Looking for some great ideas to talk about family? This is one of the most common IELTS Part 1 speaking topics. So, if you'd like to describe your family and sound more like a native speaker, then this is a must-see video. Hi there, David from IELTS Teacher 365 here. In this video, I'll be sharing with you loads of great model answers on the topic of family to improve your English and hopefully your IELTS bound score. Remember, pay attention to both the language I use and my native speaker pronunciation. So if you're ready, let's get started. Question 1. How do you like to spend time with your family? Well, we have a family holiday at least once a year, which is something I know we all really look forward to. We usually stay in our own country, but sometimes we travel abroad. And when we're away, we enjoy doing different activities like visiting museums, sightseeing, and trying the local cuisine. We have many happy memories of our family holidays together. Well, in my family, we all really like sport, and so we often play games like badminton and tennis together. And at weekends, I often go running with my brother or swimming with one of my sisters. And as a family, we all like watching cricket on television. And when there's an important game on, we all sit down together to watch it. And it can get quite exciting. Well, I think one of the things we enjoy most as a family is sitting down together to watch a film or a TV series we all enjoy. We usually make popcorn so it feels like we're at the movies. We do go to the cinema sometimes when there's a film we all want to see, and I think we really look forward to these occasions, especially talking about the film afterwards. Well, one of the things we enjoy doing as a family is playing cards. This is something we do in the evening after dinner and also at weekends. And I have to admit, we have a lot of fun and it can get quite competitive sometimes. We always play the same 2 or 3 games because they're the ones we enjoy most. Well, we have 2 small children, and so my wife and I love spending our free time with them. I think it's really important to do things together as a family, and we take them to play in the park. They love animals, so occasionally we go to the zoo, and we do a lot of arts and crafts at home with them, and of course reading stories. They love those. Well, in my case, one of the activities we like to do together as a family is spend time outdoors in nature. We often go for a walk around our neighborhood or in a nearby park, and on other occasions we go on a long hike in the countryside around the area where we live. And I think we all appreciate nature and just like being outside in the fresh air. Well, I have 2 sisters, and what we love doing most is going shopping together. Not just because we buy stuff, but also because we're best friends and we just have a great time when we go out together. And when I'm at home with my parents, I enjoy just being in their company, helping my mum and dad with the cooking and just talking about stuff. Question 2. What was it like growing up in your family? Well, we moved around a lot with my father's work, so I remember it was very hard having to say goodbye to friends when we moved to another town or city. But at the same time, it was something that was exciting, arriving in a new place and exploring it with my brothers and sisters. I think living in so many places has made us all much more open-minded. Well, I grew up in a rural area, and so I think I had a lot more freedom than children who grow up in a city. But we all had to help out at home, and so I got used to working and studying from an early age. But in my free time, I would go off with my brothers and sisters and our friends, and we would spend the whole day swimming in rivers, climbing trees, playing games, and just having a lot of fun together. Well, I think I had quite a traditional and strict upbringing. My parents were both teachers, and so for them, rules and education were both important values. But I had a lot of fun with my brother and sister, and I'd certainly say I had a happy childhood. Nowadays, I'm very grateful to my parents for many things, especially my good education. Well, I'm from quite a big family, and my parents were pretty easygoing, really. I remember spending a lot of time outside with my brothers and sisters, running around and playing games. And meal times were great fun as well, because somebody always had a funny story to tell about something that had happened or something they'd done. More than anything, a lot of fun. My parents always made a big deal of family celebrations like birthdays and other special occasions. The house would always be full of people, relatives and friends. And I got along really well with my siblings, and we're still very good friends today. Question 3. Is it good to have many brothers and sisters? Yes, I think so. When you have many brothers and sisters, you can learn things from them in the same way you learn things from your parents and perhaps grandparents. In fact, older siblings are quite often like second parents in some way. They tend to be the responsible ones because they have to help out with the younger members of the family, and I think this is a positive point. Yes, I definitely think so. I have 8 siblings, and so it's never boring in our house. There's always someone around to talk to play with, or who can lend you a hand if you need help with something. For example, I'm always helping my little brothers and sisters with their studies, and I have to admit I quite enjoy it. Yes, absolutely. I think one of the benefits of having many brothers and sisters is that you share a lot of happy memories together as you're growing up. Friends can drift apart over time, but I think generally siblings have a stronger bond. I love getting together with mine and reminiscing about when we were children. For me, I think it's a big plus to have brothers and sisters because you can support and motivate each other through life. I think sibling rivalry can make you quite competitive, but this isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, life's competitive nowadays. And you can be there for each other as well and help each other out in the good times and the bad. To be honest, I don't really know because I'm an only child. And I remember feeling a bit lonely sometimes when I was growing up. You don't have as many people to play with. I guess having brothers and sisters is a lot more fun. Question 4. Who are you closest to in your family? Well, I'm definitely closest to my mum because we do everything together. We go shopping, we have days out, we even go on short holidays together. We both have our own group of friends, but we really enjoy each other's company and hanging out together. And she supports me and encourages me in everything I do. She's really like my #1 fan. Well, I really love my mum, but I'd definitely say I'm closer to my dad because I think we're on the same wavelength. We see the world in a similar way. I think my mum had a much more traditional upbringing, whereas my father's parents were well-educated, liberal people, and so he's a really easygoing and fun person to spend time with. Well, I really love both of my parents because they've always given me a lot of love and affection. They're really positive people, and they've always pushed me to go after what I want in life, and that's made me a confident and self-assured person. But whenever I need a shoulder to cry on, I turn to my mum, so I guess I'm closer to her. Well, I'd have to say my mum. My dad was away a lot with work, and when he was home, he was quite strict with me. He wasn't the kind of father who spent a lot of quality time with his children, I think that's the way he was brought up by his own father. Mum, on the other hand, is a really fun person to be with, and she always had time to play games with us when we were growing up. Well, I'd have to say my dad is the one really important person in my life. I mean, he works day and night and makes many sacrifices in order to give me the best opportunities in life. I mean, I'm not really a gifted student, but he's always made sure I had a private teacher to help me with my studies, and I'm really grateful to him for this and for everything else he's done for me. Question 5. Who are you most like in your family? Well, everyone I know says I'm the image of my mother, even though I think we look quite different. But I agree that in certain situations we act in a very similar manner. For example, the faces we make when we don't like something and the way we both laugh. My brothers and sisters say it's kind of scary how alike we are. I'd say I'm more like my father than anyone else in my family. I think I've not only inherited his intellectual qualities, but many of his behavioral ones too. We both share an interest in mathematics and physics. We both love playing chess. And family and friends tell me I have the same facial expressions and mannerisms as him as well. Most probably my grandfather on my mother's side. I remember from an early age how everybody would say that we looked a lot like each other. But I think it's our personalities that are the most similar. We're both extrovert and outgoing people, and we love being the center of attention in social situations and family gatherings. We can be quite competitive about it sometimes. I'm definitely more like my dad. I have his short temper, and I can be impatient like him too. Sometimes I'm sarcastic with people, which is something I certainly get from him. But we're both keen swimmers. We share a love of photography. So yeah, I guess I'm more like him than I thought. And many of my friends say that I look like a mini version of him. I think my youngest daughter is very like me, although she'd probably deny it. We have similar coloured hair, the same blue eyes, and she's tall just like me. We're both avid readers, and she daydreams as much as I did when I was her age. Although I have to admit, she's much more sociable and outgoing than me. I'm quite a shy person, really. She'll talk to anyone about anything. Question 6. Is family important in your country? Yes, I'd say so. I think families are important in any country. The first relationships we form are with our parents, siblings, and extended family. And these are the people who will love us unconditionally and respect us for who we are. And I think our family provides us with a model of what our future relationships will look like. I've heard that people choose friends and partners based on how similar they are to their own family. Yes, definitely. I think family is extremely important because this is usually the first place we learn about values. Every family has their own value system regarding what's considered right and wrong, both at home and outside in the real world. For example, my own parents taught me the importance of telling the truth, whatever the consequences, and now this forms a part of who I am, and I'll definitely teach this value to my own children. Yes, extremely. I think families help create a sense of belonging to something bigger than oneself. For example, many families have traditions that were started by previous generations, or stories they share about a great-grandfather or another family member who's no longer around. And I think this creates a connection to the past and sometimes a sense of pride about where we come from. This is definitely the case of my own family. Well, I think family is incredibly important in any country. This is where children learn how to manage their emotions, interact with others, and communicate. It's also where we learn about the consequences of our actions, either positive or negative. Parents, grandparents, and older siblings can provide life lessons to younger family members, and these become an important part of how we see the world and how we believe it should be. Yes, absolutely. I mean, life isn't always easy, and so we often need emotional or financial support, and sometimes both. So when we are going through a difficult period, more often than not, we turn to our families. We know we can rely on them to be there for us in the good times and the bad, and also to give us hope and encouragement without expecting anything back in return. So there you go. Loads of great model answers to help you talk about your family in English in a more confident way. If you found this video useful, please give it a like and feel free to drop me a comment down below. And if you haven't already, click subscribe and the bell below so that you never miss the opportunity to improve your English and your IELTS band score. I'm David. Thanks very much for watching, and until next time, take care and keep practicing.